Genie.
How you guys doing out there? It's Eddie Ramon with my man Rhythm D out here in Atlanta doing it real big. In here with a vet right now, man. I appreciate your time.
Man, it's all love. It's all love.
Man. So Rhythm, tell me something. How long have you been producing for?
Let's see. I started making beats when Planet Rock came out.
Planet Rock?
Yeah, I was like 13.
13?
Yeah, when I first heard it. I think it came out in '82.
Right.
When I first heard it, I was 13 because they started playing a lot of older hip hop.
Right.
And it just made me want to be part of behind the scenes and creating music because I've always loved music all my life. So it just, when I heard the 808, it was a rap.
I had you sold.
Yeah.
Like, I might have to get this in now.
Yeah, it was like, what is that? It's like, why is my speaker sounding like that?
Yeah.
You know, 12, 13 years old. Plus I was pop locking. I was really into hip hop. You know? We had to make our own styles back then.
Where are you from?
I'm from Los Angeles, California. Born and raised in South Central LA. Home of the riots.
Yeah, man, that was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Back in the day,
Yeah.
the riots was nuts, man.
Yeah, it was real nuts.
Rodney King, that situation there was crazy.
Yeah, that set off a lot of history for us out there. You know, from the gang violence to that, it just made it put LA on a different kind of map.
Would you say there's a distinctive sound out there in California?
I think that the producers that live there create a sound based on their surroundings and what they are accustomed to feeling about music. I think all, coasts have their own vibe and their own sound.
Yeah, that's true.
Based on the living environment.
What was your first major opportunity in this industry of music?
My first major opportunity. I can honestly say that my first major opportunity I did not know was major. Okay? I was producing a cat named PAPERBOY. I had always wanted to be a producer, but I didn't have a track record. If you don't have a track record to where you've done anything, you won't get that big money. And you won't be able to become a producer and be sought after. I was playing some beats for him, and he got on him, and he sounded, out of everybody that was in there, all the rappers that were there, his voice was very distinct. He was closer. At the time, Quick was pop, so he sounded more closer to what that vibe was on because of his influence on what he listened to. I picked him to start producing. After the riots popped, we didn't see each other for a minute. I ran back into him, and he had wanted me to sample Roger, but DITTY. At the time, DITTY was super fast, you know what I'm saying? It was like, that was damn near disco tempo.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow, you want me to sample the Diddy? So how am I gonna do this and make it sound gangster, but still poppy the way it sounds?
Would you say that was a little bit of like a challenge for you to make something like that?
It was, and then it wasn't. Being challenged on what kind of track to make was the fun part. It was just being able to get it across to where it didn't sound corny. I made the track around the same time I was trying to be down with the whole Death Row thing. Nobody really knew that Dre and Easy was beefing. I was being introduced to this person and that person. I was just, playing beats and, becoming known that it happened so fast. So I'm over here one time being in the studio where, as soon as all the Dre's camp would leave, I'd be in there with Suge and, we'd be eating Chinese food and Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, and I'd be in the studio with Tony Lane and Sugar Free before anybody even knew who Sugar Free was. I was doing some music for him over at Death Row. So I really wanted to be down with Death Row at the time, but it wasn't for me. That record, that PAPERBOY record, gave me my track record. And I didn't realize that because everything was going so fast. Something I just kind of like, that probably ain't gonna go nowhere. Started getting a push, got on the radio, and took off.
Yeah,
it was a rap. Yeah, it was a rap after that, and then there was my track record. Because of that situation, I met Eazy-E through, hanging out over there at Death Row and seeing where I could fit in. And that was the biggest opportunity. I had actually two at the same time, if you think about it.
Yeah.
The PAPERBOY thing blowing up, and then me meeting Eazy-E, and he kind of needed me over there You
Absolutely,
know,
yeah.
and I did a lot of production over there. We became real cool, and that was all she wrote. I went over there and did Real Compton City G's. Everybody knows what that is. You know,
Yeah,
that's like
that's a classic, man.
one of the biggest
songs ever to hit, man.
West Coast diss records, you know, in the game. I think the massiveness of it was more compelling after he died, because you know, once you die, you know, whatever your legacy leaves behind is you know, is honored. But yeah, I did that record, and then I did Bone Thugs and Harmony, and the list goes on. I just started producing a lot of. I learned a lot about being a producer.
Right.
You know, at first I was making beats, and then I learned a lot about being a producer, and that's where you get. That's where you really get your backbone. You know, knowing how to say no, stop. That's whack. Knowing how to show the artist what you want them to do.
Yeah, molding the song.
Molding,
the record,
yeah, producing the record. You know, and them listening to you. A producer is like a director of a movie. You can have a bunch of super good actors, but without a director, you're going to tell that it's a bunch of egos trying to outdo each other. Same way with a basketball team. Without Phil Jackson, the Lakers was having a problem.
Yeah.
So I look at myself like a Martin Scorsese. I could take an Al Pacino or a Robert De Niro and give them a tight script and direct them into it, because I know that they're talented enough to pull this off.
Yeah.
With my direction. We can make some of the hottest movies / beats in the game. You know what I'm saying? But that's how I look at it. But that was pretty much my big opportunity that started me. Like I said, it was two of them at around the same time. One I didn't really pay attention to. The other one was another blessing, you know?
Yeah.
So I just took it at that, and I'm here still alive today, making music and
Absolutely.
loving it. You know, you gotta love what you do.
Yeah.
So
Tell me a couple struggles you had in this industry, man. Like trying to come up and you know, get your name out there. Like what did you go through that really made you know, stronger as a person and made you grow?
I think trying to be you, or trying to be me, basically, and getting me across, because it's with anything there's a level of competition. So if everybody is doing it, you know, which I can imagine what young cats is going through now, everybody's a producer, you know?
Yeah, rapper
is just out of control. But, while I was coming up, I was really fortunate enough to have friends and become friends with people who were actually doing what I wanted to do. My struggle was more money, because as a musician, you spend so much of your time trying to perfect your craft. So that was my thing. As far as in the business, you're gonna have haters.
Yeah, of course.
You're gonna have blockers.
Blockers. I never heard of that.
Yeah,
I thought
blockers. Blockers. Haters, the word getting kind of played out. So you look at blockers that are trying to keep you, and you can't. Whatever your destiny is, it's gonna happen. But you just have to have the wisdom enough to know when the opportunity comes up, to grab the opportunity. I think that's the hardest thing, because I've let a lot of stuff slip past me that I could have capitalized on, but I didn't. The wisdom wasn't there enough at my young age to be like, oh, I gotta go and do this. You know, I made different choices I made choices that I wouldn't have made now in my career. But getting to the blockers, you know, you have producers that are trying to get the same job that you're getting, so they're playing their music. You have people that might work for certain labels that may not like you for other personal reasons, but they'll pass up on your talent because they don't like you.
Yeah.
And that's what I try to tell a lot of the little young cats that I've met that have come to me and be like, I played 10 beats and they wasn't even feeling them. And I'm like, okay, so you went over and played 10 of your tracks, your bangers that you think was hot as hell, for a camp with their producer in the room. You feel me?
Exactly.
Their main producer was in the room. He's their guy. Your rooting level is gonna be on the low. Even if they liking the beats, they're gonna be like, yeah, that shit dope. Like,
but we can't.
Call me tomorrow.
Yeah.
You feel me? But
exactly.
they can't, you know. I've been in situations where I've come in and I played some tracks for some artists and they was going berserko over them. Then their guy comes in and they was like, I couldn't have played nothing else that night.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, and then I've been on the reverse end of it, where I'm the guy, and another little young cat coming in playing his stuff. You know what I do? I get up and be like, nigga, yeah.
That's what you should do. You should you should be hating on nobody, man.
I mean, it's human nature to hate.
It is.
Especially if it was whack. Think about this. This is what I had to tell him. I'm like, look, if it was some bullshit, it wouldn't even have mattered.
Yeah.
But you was playing heat. So he was probably sitting there like, man, I do not want to get no more of a budget to nobody else. I don't want them to hear this track. Because if they like it, and it's a paid project, then they can get his number.
$20 hole.
¿Qué tú piensas? Dale, Ramon.
You use your